Hello and welcome to Mad About Sports for yet another live stream. And before we get into today's video, do not forget to check out our course with Mad About Sports on cricket analytics. And if you're new here, subscribe to the channel as well. So, talking about the course, we do run a cricket analytics course, a 5-day workshop. You don't need to have any prior knowledge of analytics or numbers. You can come here with a free mind, and this could be a kickstart to your dream career in cricket or in sports. And you can work with your favorite IPL team. So check out our course. The link is down in the description. So without further ado, let's get into today's live stream. Remember, today we're going to be talking about India versus England second test day one review. Uh, Obviously, India won the toss. India decided to bat first, and India ended the day with 330 runs. Now, 336 runs rather. And if you ask me personally, if they lost 6 wickets, Yashasvi Jaiswal scored a brilliant 100, a daddy 100, you can say, so he's batting not out on 170s. And not just that, at the end of the day, you would say that India would be slightly more uh, disappointed than England, to be very fair, because India won the toss on a very good deck. Remember, this is one of the better test decks you've seen in India for a long time. And considering all this, let's be honest, India would feel like India missed a big opportunity to score even more runs, like something which India felt like what they had in Hyderabad. Let's look at the scorecard to understand how things stand at this point, the stage, because ultimately, it's a cat and mouse game, right? England are one nil up in the series, and England are feeling much more confident. England are the team who's taking a little more of risk. India are slightly on the back foot at this point, underconfident, coming after that poor performance in Hyderabad, losing from a winning stage. And to add to all this, some of the players are not in good form. Yashasvi Jaiswal, as I mentioned, I said a phenomenal game. 179 is what he has scored. And to add to that, Rohit Sharma opening the bat and not really convert once again. He was out for 14. He looked extremely tentative today. And yeah, he was dismissed for a ball which was caught in the leg slip. Now, that dismissal, you can still say, yeah, they're one of the unlucky dismissals you could have gotten, but it just felt like Rohit Sharma was very timid batting out there. You wanted to bat out time today. Obviously, that's the one of the main reasons for how India wanted to approach this test match, considering what had happened in Hyderabad, given the fact that how India played out in the Hyderabad test match as well, throwing away the wickets. But can you say it's been a repeat? Yes, you can say it's almost a repeat of what happened in Hyderabad. Now, one of the bigger issues which Indian batters are facing at this point of stage is the issue with temperament. Now, we often put this word under the carpet these days because it's a modern day game. You don't need a lot of temperament. You have to go out there and express the way you want to play. But the word temperament is now going under the radar primarily because people do not have the skill of temperament, you can say. So people are extremely impatient in the way in which they're batting. And it showed today, especially in the way in which the Indian batters batted. A very good deck, you can say, offered very little turn, nothing at all for the seamers in that matter. Anderson, though he bowled brilliantly today, but he couldn't get a lot out of it. But let's talk about Rohit Sharma's dismissal to start off with, caught down in the leg slip for the debutant Shoaib Bashir bowling. I mean, could have avoided that. Shobman Gill once again looked very good in the brief period he batted, but his chances are running out. You cannot be happy with 35s and cute 40s if you're a number three batter for India, because you have a reputation of your batters batting at number three, scoring daddy hundreds, batting at an average of at least 60 to 55 to 60. And on good decks, you're supposed to convert. You had a Cheteshwar Pujara who batted at that rate throughout his career and who more often than not converted the starts he had gotten. Before that, the he doesn't have to look anything beyond, you can ask the team's coach Rahul Dravid how he batted at number three, how he bided time, how he looked to catch on opportunities on good decks. Now you'll have to say Shubman Gill not moving his feet and just pushing at the ball has been his biggest issue, and he's not learned anything out of it. Now that is going to really come into effect at some stage. Now you can say this is possibly his second last opportunity before Team India takes a call. Yeah, it was just poor. It was just poor from Shubman Gill to lose that concentration at that point. Even from Rohit Sharma to lose the concentration, giving away the wickets. Then let's come to Shreyas Iyer, right? Batting at number four today, a promotion from number five. What could he have done better? Now, more often than not, what happens in this kind of situations is when you have a player like Shreyas Iyer, he could have he could have possibly gone out to score big because, as I mentioned about Shubman Gill, one other player who is definitely under the radar to be dropped is Shreyas Iyer. Now, Shreyas Iyer in the last 14 innings, his highest score has been just 35, which came in the Hyderabad Test match. He's averaging in 15s, and you are a number 5, number 4 batter for India. Now, again, going back to the fact which I mentioned, you've had a long legacy of batters who even averages 45 to 50, struggling to make it to the team. And here you have a Shreyas Iyer and a Shubman Gill averaging in below 20s who's still making it to the team on consistent basis. I'd have to say selection committee and team management will have to be questioning themselves here, because you can say 336 for 6 looks great, but even on a flat deck like what you got today, the players are not ready to bite their time. It just looked like you don't have the hunger for runs. And Shreyas Iyer will be kicking himself, Shubman Gill will be kicking himself, but then I think it's about time you take big calls on these two players. You had a time when you had to take call on Rahane and Pujara because of their poor form, and I think this comes on a very similar radar of taking a call on these two players, given the fact that they might have to come back to that ball cricket after some good performance in domestic cricket. Because now you're giving them an extra bit of leeway and you're giving them a free hand to perform, which is not great. Rajat Patidar, you can say, was slightly unlucky, but again, missed opportunity. Another player who got start and wasted it, Rajat Patidar. But you can say he's slightly unlucky. He tried to play it on, ball bounced 3, 4 times and hit the stumps. Unlucky. He looked good in his pre-period, making his debut, but you can never say that. You have to say Akshar Patel. I mean, uh, another dismissal. Today's day has been just about players getting starts and throwing away their wicket. Akshar Patel is another player who would be kicking himself because look at the point or stage where he got out. Towards the end of the day, should have been more proactive in the way in which he should have played. Because remember, it's a last session at the end of the day. You cannot afford to lose a wicket in the last session in that manner. And to a ball which did absolutely nothing. And for Akshar Patel, he'd feel like he missed out on a big scoring opportunity. And this is where someone like an Akshar Patel, who had got a batting promotion to bat at number 6, will feel like he's not doing justice to the promotion he's gotten. And KS Bharat, similar, very, very, very similar. Rehan Ahmed bowling, trying to cut the ball, going to Shoaib Bashir in the point, mid short point. I mean, what do I say, right? All these batters look good when they batted and they just threw away their wickets. So this is where you'll have to say that ultimately it is a game where you'll have to apply yourself. You'll have to be more proactive in the way in which you approach things. And you are just unable to convert at the end of the day, because the only way you are going to get the recognition to be a good batter is by converting these starts. And for a team like India, who has been doing pretty well, you'll have to admit that their biggest issue has been in the recent past has been these batters losing out on temperament. And we have had this discussion on this very stream multiple times as to whether you would be judged based on your performance in longer format based on temperament. Yes. Ultimately, it comes down to temperament. You saw a great knock from Yashasvi Jaiswal. Now, in the last match, you saw a different Yashasvi Jaiswal who was going hell for leather, who really wanted to play a very attacking knock. But today, you saw Yashasvi Jaiswal who knew wanted to bide his time, who knew that he wanted to carry on and score big. And that's exactly what you saw from Yashasvi Jaiswal. That's exactly what you want to see from all these youngsters out there, including Captain Rohit Sharma, who has been throwing away his wicket in the last 3 innings. Let's be honest, it's about time India looks into mirror and ask themselves few questions regarding how they've been batting in test format. Let's be very clear on it. It's not been satisfactory, and some of the players have not shown enough intent. I understand white ball format has really have had to play a big role in this, especially in the way they want to play. Maybe it's about time to maybe bring in someone like a Sarfraz Khan who knows how to play the big knocks, who has played for the bigger longer period of time in domestic cricket. And that's where you will have to understand that ultimately at the end of the day, you are looking at players who can make the big shift, right? You're looking at players who can make a massive shift into your game, and you can talk about players who are going to really, really take the ultimate step, like Shubman Gill, for example, like Rajat Patidar, who wants to really clock the big knocks. So ultimately, when we talk about test format and players like this, uh, Shreyas Iyer will be missing out on this opportunity, fairly enough. And at the same point, you'll have to talk about players like Srikar Bharat, who would again have to feel like he had an opportunity to finish the game last time around, again missed out on another opportunity. I mean, Dhruv Jurel is waiting in the wings. Maybe it's about time in the third test match to go for someone like him. Remember, Shrikar Bharat is considered to be your best glove man in the country at this point, the stage when it comes to keeping technique. He's getting that nod ahead, given the fact that he's high on pecking order. But how long is he going to get that run is the biggest question. Like, if you are going to miss out on these opportunities time and time again, there will come a point where you will have to really, look at yourself and ask, okay, is Shrikar Bharat the right man? Is he the right man? Can we look beyond him? Because Ishan Kishan, it looks like it's not really going well for him. So if you're going to look at few players at this point, likes of Rajat Patidar, likes of Akshar Patel, likes of Shrikar Bharat, Shreyas Iyer, all these players will fall in a very similar category where they'll all feel that yeah, we've messed it up and we'll have to do well in the second innings, which is not going to be easy at all. This was the best opportunity to capitalize and they did not. That's why I was comparing them with Yashasvi Jaiswal, who played a very different knock in the first test match in the first innings, and today you saw how much it meant for him to carry on big. He played his shots whenever the ball came, but he never wanted to throw away his wicket. Maybe all the experienced batters will have to look at a youngster and maybe ask, how did he do it? Because that's about time that you look at. Maybe, as I mentioned, it wasn't a bad opportunity to give someone like a Sarfaraz Khan a game today ahead of Shreyas Iyer or ahead of Shubman Gill, because in my opinion, both of these players, both Shubman Gill and Shreyas Iyer, doesn't really deserve a place in the team because they both lack temperament at this point. They both lack that quality to play. You saw some of the shots played by Shreyas Iyer trying to play the uppercut to a trap which was set by England. He could have possibly fallen to the Anderson ball there. I mean, these are nuances of the game which you expect players who are playing Test cricket to know for India. And ultimately, it comes down to the very fact that do you really value your wicket in Test cricket, or do you want to play like a T20 game? And that's the biggest question which all of these players will have to ask. Because Shubman Gill was a big player when he came into Team India, especially in from domestic cricket, who knew how to buy time, who knew how to bat time, and all of a sudden, maybe extra bit of T20 cricket, extra bit of one day cricket has really deteriorated his game in Test format, and it's clearly evident. And he's never been able to work in his technical deficiencies. He tries to play nowadays, he's scared for the ball coming in and tries to push at the ball going away, and he tries to get out most of the times. So is this fifth time he's gotten out to James Anderson, and it's not looking good at all. And I think it's about time. Maybe it's a way out for Shubman Gill, and maybe in the next Test match once Virat Kohli is back, you'll have to take a call as to whether Shreyas Iyer remains in the team or you'll have KL Rahul. In my opinion, it's the best time for someone like Rajat Patidar to score big in the second innings at least and seal that spot. Then once Virat Kohli comes back, Shreyas Iyer will have to make way, and possibly KL Rahul batting in number three is how I see Indian team going, because 336 for six in a wicket like that is poor. You would be missing out on good 100 runs, 170 runs, and it might come to haunt you as well. Look at James Anderson's figure: 41 years of age, 17 overs on day one, just 30 runs at an economy rate of 1.76. I mean, this is legendary stuff. I mean, he did not give anything away to the Indian batters. He kept bowling at their one length. Indian batters had nothing to play with. And you had a debutant Shoaib Bashir who, though he gave 100 runs, he picked up those two wickets. Two wickets, you can say, was given as a gift for him. But yeah, as always, as India has got nowadays a tendency of giving gifts to their debutants, they've continued to do that. So to Shoaib Bashir as well. And Rehan Ahmed, who had an awful game in the first match, came back good. He bowled well in this first. He was introduced in the 60th over, but he went on to ball well. He went on to ball really well. He kept bowling in those legs. You can say one of those wickets against Rajat Patidar was unlucky, and Akshar Patel gave away his wicket. You can never say none of them really earned the wicket today, maybe except for a Jimmy Anderson who really bowled well. Indian batters really threw away their wicket. Now, what to look on for day two, right? Now, day two, we've got a question. Surely Rahul, surely Rahul has proved himself enough to keep wickets in Test. He was good in Test cricket enough, keeping his stuff, but he'll only get better with given chances. Darshan, I agree with you, but as you all know, with KL Rahul, injury is a major concern for him. Quadricep is an injury which he's been fighting for the longer period of time, and him going up and down for 500 550 balls a day isn't going to help him at all at the end of the day. So these are going to be some of the issues which India will have to deal with. So I don't see KL Rahul as a wicket keeping option given injury being a scare. But surely KL Rahul can be used as a number three batter, Darshan, because ultimately it comes down to that very fact that how are you looking at your number three option? Because I think Rahul has a temperament to bat at number three. Rahul has proved himself batting as an opener in tougher conditions. and he can bat out time, and he's got that hunger for runs in tougher conditions as well. So you can give KL Rahul an opportunity to bat at number 3 in place of Shubman Gill. And keeping, if Bharat does not perform well in second innings, I think it's about time. Come the next test match, someone like a Dhruv Jurel who brings a little bit of X factor as well, to give him a try. Because Bharat does not give you a confidence to really, even if he's batting at number 7, if Akshar Patel has to bat ahead of your keeper, I don't think it's a good thing, because I still think Akshar Patel is a good batter at number 7, but at number 6, a little bit of an elevation for Akshar Patel. And whenever Akshar Patel has been promoted up the order in any format of the game, he has never done well. I think Akshar Patel doesn't really like that opportunity. When you talk about Jadeja really likes to bat up the order, and he really improves as a batter with the promotion he gets. But on the other end of the spectrum, Akshar Patel always tends to take extra bit of responsibility, and he tends to fall under the bit of responsibility when he's given that promotion. So I think Akshar Patel batting at 6 was not a good idea. And that's where someone like a Bharat should prove himself that, okay, I can be sent out to bat at number 6, but he's not done that so far in this match and in this series so far in the 3 innings he's batted. And I think Dhruv Jurel isn't a bad option. I mean, if you look at it ultimately, Dhruv Jurel will be one of the options which India will be really tempted to go in the third test match. And to add to which, you would want to go in with someone like Ishan Kishan, if possible, if Dhruv Jurel does not come back in time. So this is where things will get very, very, very interesting. And tomorrow, obviously, that it's a big day. You know that India would want to score big runs, and India would want to score at least close to 450 runs on day 2, and to seal. Look at things from a very practical point of view. Ideally, India would have liked to bat once and score 500 runs, but I don't think even 450 is safe because of the fact that England are really looking good, and England are a better team at this point. And if he if he if he lose or draw the series, Dravid has to go. Absolutely, MJ. I agree with you totally. There is no two ways about it. Uh, I think if India loses the series, I think Rohit Sharma will have to step down. That's my point of view, because I've always been very, very critical of the way in which Rohit Sharma as captain in the recent past. Given the fact that however, if you look at things from a different perspective, you'd want to say, oh, Rohit Sharma has never lost a series so far. But him as a captain switching off in Hyderabad was a very clear indication that he's not interested. You saw that in South Africa as well in the first Test match when he switched off completely. Rohit Sharma, the captain, has been questionable in Test format for the longest period of time. WTC final was an example. He's not given anything to say that, oh, he's a captain who can go out there and win you a WTC or to win you a long Test series for a long run. And let's be honest, I don't think he's quite enjoying the Test format captaincy, because he's a captain who has been very used to captaining in the shorter format of the game. All of a sudden, longer format of the game after 50 overs, he's switching off quite often. If nothing is happening, he's switching off. The mindset is low. The body language really shows. I think both Rahul Dravid and Rohit Sharma will have to step down if India go on to lose the series, and which is a possibility. Let's not write anything off, because it just looks like a team which is confused at this point. I hope they go on to do well, but it will all come down to how India are going to field and ball in this game, what their body language is going to be, how they're going to come out charging. Can they come out proving if they're back once their backs are against the wall? Can they come out fighting it out, showing to the world that we're still capable of winning Test matches? We're still capable of throwing away this bass ball which has haunted us in the second innings of the Hyderabad Test match, and hopefully come up with plans for sweeps and reversals which England batters have been deploying. So these are things which we'll have to answer. And tomorrow India will have to bat as long as possible. Ashwin will have to play a big role, and Yashasvi will know that his job is only half done. He'll have to go on to score big. If ideally possible, score 200, 250, 300 if possible, because there are runs for taking. The pitch has not changed a tad bit. Pitch is still very good. You still can bat out time. You still can bat till tomorrow lunch and tea and see how things go. I know wickets aren't in your favor right now. That is where India should have ideally gone on only losing 3 wickets today, or 4 wickets at max. But Indian batters and their poor decision making continues in this match as well. So there's nothing to do. I mean, if you can't score 500 runs in this wicket, I don't think you can score 500 runs in any other wicket. So this is where, looking back 10 years or 7 years ago, when Pujara used to bat, or when like Murali Vijay used to bat, they used to bat time and they should throw oppositions out of the game. Gill as an opener average much better than Rohit. Rohit should bat 3, because I think Jaiswal and Gill are future openers. See, MJ, I understand your point here, but let's be honest. Gill, even when as an opener, he has got technical deficiencies. So for Gill at this point, the best thing to do is to go back to domestic cricket, maybe work on his red ball game, because he's trying to plant the foot a lot more, the feet a lot more across now in this innings to to prevent that ball coming in, but it's fallen for a ball going away. And if you look at his technical deficiencies, the ball coming in is not really sorted that out. And for someone of Gill's talent, I don't think it's a bad idea to take a break and to work on his red ball game and come back. For me at this point, Rohit as at number three, we have tried him multiple times, right? Rohit as number three in Test cricket, and he never succeeded. So I don't think it's a I don't think it's a good opportunity or a good option at all for that matter to try or to push Rohit down, because it's only detrimental to the team. Because Rohit Sharma as an opener, I still think can come good, and whenever he comes good, he's going to really win you games. But for me, the bigger issue lies in players like Gill, in players like Iyer, who have been fighting, who have been really hard, who've been really fighting themselves in a big hole at this point, and they have themselves to blame other than nobody else, because ultimately it comes down to individuals as well. How much of an onus are you going to take up? Because they've been falling in similar traps. They've been falling out in a way after getting starts time and time again. And Test cricket, you cannot do this. We got a question from Darshan once again. So I cannot believe when I saw. They'll take a question for MJ before that. I cannot believe when I saw team lineup, I saw Iyer's name there instead of Sarfraz. Yeah, same. MJ, I was very, very shocked as well that you're giving Iyer this long of a rope. A guy whose highest score is 35 in the last 14 innings. We had a time when 35 was considered as a low average in Test cricket. Now you have a guy with the highest score of 35 at number 5 for team and number 4 for Team India in Test cricket. Would you see a veteran like Pujara getting another chance in this series considering he's done well? Absolutely, Darshan, because you know what India needs at this point is batters who can bat out time and play spin well. Now, Pujara is still your best bet. Now, if you look in the country, who are your best number three options available in the country? Who all can you point out in Ranji Trophy? Pradosh Ranjan Paul is an option who you can look at. Sai Sudarshan, Chiteshwar Pujara. Uh, you can possibly look at, Abhimanyu Ishwaran. Uh, these are few names who are there to play at number three, who can be tried out as number three in future. Mayank Agarwal has had a decent Ranji Trophy, but unfortunately is ill right now. There are few names, but I still think Chiteshwar Pujara, given the experience, given the way he's batted in this Ranji Trophy, he's got the hunger for runs and he's got a point to prove as well. So not a bad option to look back at someone like a Chiteshwar Pujara. I still think he's going to give you a lot more runs than your number three and your number four combined in this current Test match. And he's not going to give away the wicket in the way in which these guys have given away. So I think it's not a bad option to go and look at Chiteshwar Pujara in the next Test match, but I don't think selectors will do that because they have looked beyond Chiteshwar Pujara and they're looking at a future. I see KL Rahul being tried at number three in the next Test match, given the fact that if he's fit and fine, KL Rahul fits in at number three, Rajat Patidar to bat at number five, and Virat Kohli comes back at number four, obviously. So I see that being the batting order, but once again, it comes down to selectors and team management because there are players who have to take the onus at this point. Let's be honest. Shreyas Iyer has not done anything to justify his place in the lineup. Shreyas Iyer will be looking at himself in the mirror tonight and asking that, what have I even done? In this last 15 innings, he's batted as a Test player for India. He's done absolutely nothing. He's gotten out in the most absurd ways. And today, the kind of shots he picked up. I mean, let's be honest. If you're a Test cricketer batting at number 4 for India, and when you have set a leg side trap, you're trying to go away from the wicket, trying to do an uppercut to a ball which is in good length. I mean, it shows that you do not have temperament. You're looking at options. You're scared, and you feel like your scoring opportunities are restricted. We're talking about Sachin Tendulkar, who is about number 4, who controlled himself from playing a cover drive for an entire 1.5 days when he scored 242. Now, here is a guy who feels the scoring option is curtailed, tries to do things out of the box. Let's be honest, we're playing Test cricket and you're against possibly one of the best fast bowlers in the game, in James Anderson. He knows how to get you if you're going to miss. So I mean, yeah, Darshan, I personally feel Chiteshwar Pujara should be given a chance, but ultimately, I think India will give a chance to KL Rahul, and that's not a bad option at all because I still think KL Rahul is a better option than Shubman Gill, given the fact that Shubman Gill is really low in confidence. Same as Shreyas Iyer. You saw Shreyas Iyer, who was known to be an excellent player of spin, is now even struggling to play spin. So it's all a confidence game at the end of the day. Maybe they might have to be dropped, and it's always a good thing to be dropped and to come back fighting with some runs under your belly. So that's always done good for some players. Like so, Chiteshwar Pujara has made a comeback, scoring a lot of runs in county. These guys can do that so as well. So that's what I personally think. But for India, they will have to capitalize day two, looking ahead for tomorrow. And if they can capitalize day two, I'm pretty sure that they can put some pressure with the bowlers they have. Otherwise, it's going to be a tough game for India once again, because I still think India are way below par. And if they're going to be bowled at anything below 400, trust me, I think England will be feeling much better, and England will be feeling on top of the game. So that's about from us. As I like to reiterate once again, do not forget to subscribe to our channel. Also check out our course with Mad About Sports, which is on cricket analytics. If you're new here, check that out. And also do not forget to subscribe to our channel and share this video with as many people as possible. Link is down in the description for the course. It's a cricket analytics workshop, a 5-day workshop. You don't need to have any prior knowledge on analytics and numbers. Come in with a free mind, and maybe this could be a kickstart to your dream career. Have a good time, all of you, and thank you for all your questions. See you all very soon. Bye bye.